Hi, Eric Wilson here, independent licensed mechanic, 30 years experience. The next 6 to 7 minutes, I'm going to show you the inside story in this 2005 GMC 1500 crew cab. Now, on your front tire, you've got about 70% on all-season radio, so a good amount of tread left on your front tire. Your right outer tie rod is tight, and that's critical because it's the only thing that holds the wheel to the steering. Your lower ball joint is tight. Your upper ball joint is tight. Suspension wise, I'm not seeing anything of concern so far on the front right now. Your sway bar link connected from here to here. Your outer CV boot full of grease, and if it was ripped, you'd see it right away. And same with the inner CV boot, full of grease, and if it was ripped, you'd see it right away. Now, a leak, another thing I want to point out, this is a leak point right here. If it's going to leak, it's going to leak here because the seal's in here, and this is where the drive shaft comes out. And you can see for yourself, bone dry. So no leaks happening as far as that goes. No leaks that I can see so far on the front right. You do have a sway. You have the what do you call it? A torsion bar suspension, which means there's no spring, but that's definitely no cracks or issues with that. Okay, another leak point is right here, and it's the front of the motor, and again you can see for yourself, good and dry. So another leak point would be the steering box right here, and again no leaks on that, which is good. Usually by this time they are leaking. Now another leak point is the bottom of the diff, the front diff there, and you can see for yourself, good and dry. And yeah, so leak wise, I'm not seeing anything of any concern so far. Okay, on the front left tire, again, about 50%, about 50% tread on all season radios here. And coming behind the front right tire, or front left tire, your left outer tie rod is good and tight. Sway bar link connected from there to there. Your lower ball joint is tight. Outer CV boot is dry. Inner CV boot is dry. More importantly, leak point would be right here. A little bit of a sweat, but definitely not a drip, which is good. And as far as I can see, this thing is well maintained. A lot of the grease points are good and covered in grease. Your what do you call it? Your upper ball joint is tight. Your lower ball joint is tight. And again, I can see definitely evidence of these things being maintained as far as grease goes. Now another leak point is right here where the drive shaft comes out of the rear diff, out of the back of the transmission, and I'm not seeing not like bone dry. And bottom of the transfer case here, another leak point. You can see for yourself, good and dry. So far so good. Exhaust, very clean and intact. No issues with that. Another leak point right here where the drive shaft goes into the diff, and bone dry. Bottom of the differential, good and dry. Another leak point would be here where the behind the bearing on the left wheel, good and dry. Brand new shocks, a little hard to see, but brand new shocks on the rear, right and left. So, and your spring suspension, no cracks, no brakes. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm not seeing anything of any concern. Suspension-wise, leak-wise, brake-wise, I think you got about 20,000 K left on the rear brakes. Okay, front brakes, you got about 20,000 K left on your front brakes. So yeah, lots of about midway point for your brakes. Got your class 3 hitch, 7-pin. Trailer hook up there, bumper intact, no issues. Yeah, looking not too shabby so far. Rust wise, seeing very little rust, which is not unusual for Alberta, thankfully. Yeah, brand new shock suspension. And another leak point would be right here behind the front of the rear right wheel, and there's no indication of leaks there at all. Just good. Your right rear suspension, your no cracks, no breaks in your springs. Yeah, looking not too shabby so far. You are missing a spare. In fact, you're missing the what do you call it? The winch. So you're going to need a winch, and you're going to need a spare to complete the package here. Just so you're aware of that. Okay, it's the crew cab, which what you were looking for, and it's all apart right now because the car, this thing has to be inspected for another province or salvage inspection because it got stolen, and so they've got it all pulled apart. So just have to all that's got to be put back together again. It's got to go through the inspection, which is good because the salvage inspection, they go through it with a fine-tooth comb, and it's as good if not better than new when if they pass that inspection. So kilometers. You've got, what do you got here? 468K. Yeah, no, looking good, Now, I'll take you out and show you the condition of the motor. Okay, with motor running, I'm not hearing anything of any concern on your motor. Exhaust, very clean. Okay, the first thing I do, I take a look under the oil cap, and I always look for what I call mayonnaise, which would be an indication of an internal leak. And it's a mixture of oil and antifreeze, and it's always gooey, and you'd see it right on the bottom of the cap. This is clean. As far as I can tell, this vehicle has been well maintained, and yeah, it's got some this is what I can give you as far as in your price range and kilometers wise. And now I'm also going to send you some pictures of this as well. Now, if you do buy it, you're going to get for free, it doesn't cost you a penny, 10% fuel savings, because I've been doing these 10% fuel saving devices for 20 years. They never fail, and it doesn't cost you a penny. And we're going to protect the cat as well from theft. So again, that's compliments of Chinook Auto. Just if you do go ahead with the purchase. Now, hopefully this helps you make an informed decision. I'm also going to send you some pictures of this as well, and the phone number of the person that you'd be dealing with. Thank you very much.